Greetings, fellow travelers. Welcome on in. This is the RPG Cave level 193. I am one of your hosts, the level 199 human Dark Lord Ryan Turford, and I am joined, as always, by the dabbing level 199 Elf Battle Alchemist, Dr. Garret. How's it going, Garret?
It's going well. Now, these monsters in this level, they're getting pretty hard. We're trying to manage, and it's we're only a few levels higher now, you know.
Yeah.
We're trying to. I'm healing, and then we're battling. It's a whole thing right now.
We were doing so well for the longest time.
Yeah,
we were so overpowered.
Yeah,
we were
too easy.
so overpowered. But now the levels are catching up with us, Sean. It's just I don't know why I called you Sean.
I don't know why you called me Sean either.
Dyslexia is a hell of a drug, Garret. Let me tell you what. But
yeah, I
know. I mean, you're hinting at the fact that we're 7 episodes away, Garret, from episode 200. And for those that are newer to the show, because I know we've had a lot of new listeners over the course of the last 100 episodes, God, let alone in the last couple months even. Garret and I have a tradition we started with episode 100, where we basically had to level up our characters.
Yes.
We came up with character sheets with our characters and everything. And I think that's going to happen this time around. We're going to have to level up, Garret. Otherwise, the dungeon's going to overtake us. What are we going to do? It'll be like when we played Diablo last night and we were just punching at the enemies and they were just, their health bars were just going.
Well, you told us hey, we need to go on the other side of the map.
No. Everyone was like, all right, we want to continue the campaign. And I was like, cool. Well, if you want to do that, the next campaign objective is on the other side of the map.
Okay, so I saw that before on my beginning character. There's another one. That's not the one that
Fiona was the party leader though, and that was what her objective was.
You should have told her. It's we need to go the other. Anyways, we went through a kind of an area that enemies were just destroying us. So it was wonderful on Diablo Fridays.
I was gonna say we still had fun, even though we got completely overpowered by this den of spiders that basically just murdered us over and over.
Oh yeah, the whole den of spiders, and we barely did any damage, and it was great. And then you told us this random kind of monster thing comes into multiplayer games and just
the butcher,
murdered. Yeah, the butcher. Yeah, he just came in and just destroyed it. Yeah, it was fantastic.
He killed me specifically, and that's what caused him to leave, because it said he left with my soul, Garret.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Ryan, I woke up this morning, as I always do.
Of course.
I had an alarm, 7 a.m. I woke up, of course, 2 minutes before that alarm. Turned off the alarm and went back to sleep for 20 minutes.
Of course.
And I'm glad it was just only 20 minutes, because if it was any later, I would have been rushing like crazy. But I have to go up. I have to feed the dog. I have to walk the dog. So it's a whole thing. And then I have to make coffee. So
exactly.
And then I just had to play with the dog this morning. It was super rushed.
If it wasn't for that, if you slept any further through that alarm, Garret, we might have gotten coffeeless Garret on the RPG Cave.
Oh, you wouldn't
for the first time.
No. We would delay the show. That's how that would happen. You wouldn't like coffeeless Garret in the morning.
Fair enough. Coffeeless Garret, it sounds like a nice person though, despite what you tell me, Garret.
He's probably disoriented. He probably is listening only 50% of the time, and the other 50% trying to fall asleep again. So yeah.
Also, Fulia says I would have slept in another hour, and honestly, that's probably what I would have done, Fulia. I'm very religious about my alarms. I always have 5 alarms set at varying times, and if I sleep through any of them, forget about it. I'm gonna be just sleep an extra hour or 2, sometimes 3.
Okay.
I've done it, Garret, where my alarm went off. And I turned all my other alarms off and was I'll just lay down for a second. And 3 hours later, I wake up and it's oh, well, this is bad. There goes my whole day.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I know a lot of people are like that. My wife's like that as well. I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's one alarm, and I'm mostly okay.
Yeah.
Every day at work, here in the mornings, I just need one alarm, and I'll be up.
Well, also you're so rigorous about it. Your body sounds it just knows that the alarm's coming.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at waking up.
Yeah.
I get out of bed. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm mostly like that too. It's only a rare exception where I like either sleep through my alarm, which actually doesn't really happen that often at all, or just falling back asleep and then afterwards. Like, for the most part, like, I'm actually usually up like 10 minutes before my alarm goes off because my body is just trained to know to be awake before then. So, yeah. There you go. Well, that's the RPG Cave, where I swear we talk about role-playing games sometimes. But
sometimes.
We should probably, of course, clear the dungeons. We get to the raid boss as quickly as possible. And honestly, folks, I will mention before we get into the show this week, if you're listening on audio feeds, today's episode is going to be very visually representative with today's topic. Like, we're going to have a lot of things we're going to be showing. We're going to do our best to kind of describe those things to you on the audio side. But I'm telling you this early because if you want to, we have the video up on youtube.com/carpoolgaming. Go watch the video version this week because I think the video version is going to be, so much more, pleasing to the eye this week with the box arts we're going to talk about.
Very pleased.
Just wanted to give that warning early on the show before we get into the housekeeping and everything else. So, of course, Garrett, we've got a new Patreon supporter over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. We got Street Breaker X2 or Cross 2 or however you want to say it, joined up as a free member over on the old Patreon this week. So shout out to Street Breaker X2.
Street Breaker. I like that name. That's a good name.
Of course, speaking of the old Patreon, Garrett, we have brand new Patreon content. Of course, we've got Fee's Pants episode has been the Pants episode of the week. It's been, of course, up all week. For those that don't know, of course, the Pants Patreon podcast for patrons podcast is our exclusive bonus podcast over on Patreon, which is a weekly AMA show with all the Carpool Gaming hosts. We do a rotation. So it was Fee's turn this week. And Garrett, my episode is the episode coming up next. It is out tomorrow.
Cool.
The time you're listening to it. In fact, I was going to record it yesterday, but I ended up actually just postponing it, and I'm just going to record that after we're done this episode today.
Cool.
So look out for that tomorrow. But then, Garrett.
Yes.
Coming up next on the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast, according to the schedule, is Garrett Bland.
It's me.
Yes.
Yay.
It's you. So if people have questions for Garrett, please go over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming Monday morning. You'll see a question post go up there for the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast, and leave your questions for Garrett, and he'll answer them. Whatever questions you want to answer.
Ask about life. Ask about theory. What do I think of reality itself? We can get into really in depth here. So.
I would imagine you'll probably get a question about books because Fee got multiple questions about books this week, and then I also got a question about books this week. So I'm sensing a theme in the community right now is people want to talk about books. So
I have a love-hate relationship with books.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get into it. If you ask me,
of course,
at the Pants Patreon podcast, Yarden asks, I'm going to ask for medical advice.
You can't do that.
You can ask that, and then I'll say I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm legally, and I cannot recommend or tell you anything. It's illegal for me to do that, but I can still tell you what I think.
Yeah. Or I mean, you could be like, well, WebMD would say.
WebMD. I would go to ChatGPT, Yarden.
Yeah. Oh my God. Exactly. Yeah. Fulia mentions that she's not much of a reader herself. And I mean, I can't wait to answer that question because, Garrett, preview for the Pants episode. I don't think I've read a book since 1995. So,
oh my goodness.
This besides textbooks, of course.
Right. Right.
We're talking like an actual book,
like a novel, like from beginning to end. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been a while. Like I've read comic books.
Been a while,
but I haven't actually read like an actual book in a long time. So look for that. And also we got confirmation as well that I believe, and let me just double check this here before I just blurt this out. Yes, Monday morning, Garrett, our episode of the real podcast that you and I recorded with Sean and Seth, all about Star Wars Episode 1, Episode 2, and Episode 3, aka the prequel trilogy, will be going live on the Patreon as well. So please be excited about that. Of course, it's our continuation of our movie podcast. Yeah, I can't wait for people to listen to it because we talked for like 3 hours and could have probably talked for another 3 hours on top of it.
Easily.
Yeah, all about Star Wars, all about you. We got to talk about Bib Fortuna and Cypher Diaz and all kinds of crazy Star Wars stuff.
Watto. Jar Jar. Of course, the seminal character Jar Jar.
100%. He is so important to the lore.
He is very important.
He is the foundation of the Empire.
He gave emergency powers to the Supreme Anyways, all right, we're not going to get into this.
Yeah, no, because honestly, we could probably, again, do this the whole day. Instead, Garrett, because I know our topic is going to be quite lengthy, let's just hop into your things right away. Get this.
Oh, yeah, I have things. Hold on, let me pull up my window here.
Yeah, sure.
I got them in order. Okay. Yeah, so I streamed some Steam demos yesterday over on Carpool Gaming Live. That was really cool. One of them was Demon School. Ryan.
Ooh, I'm excited. I saw the demo go up and I was like, man, I wish this demo was not on PC because I'm excited to play it, but I would have wanted to play it on Switch or something else.
Yeah, that makes sense. My quick impressions, again, I only played like a couple hours here. Writing is it's okay. It's not anything great or anything like that. The story is just okay. This is, it's an indie game. So and it's people that English is not their first language.
Yeah,
so
I was about to say that. Like I was sensing the story was just going to be like, not amazing. Like on the level of something like Cosmic Star or Heroine or something like that.
Yeah. And then but the combat, the gameplay, it's pretty good. It's pretty addictive. But it's not Persona or Shin Megami Tensei or whatever people kind of are comparing it to.
Well, when I was watching you play it, it actually kind of reminded me. Have you ever played Persona 1, Garrett?
I have not, no.
Because it kind of reminds me of that game.
Okay.
The older Shin Megami Tensei games, like the Super Nintendo Shin Megami Tensei games.
I see. I really related to Faster Than Light Into the Breach. Those are the two big ones that I compared to.
Because you have like a small tactical grid with your
Yes.
characters, right? And they're like the positioning kind of matters a little bit, and you're attacking from like different angles and stuff.
100%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's actually the way the earlier Persona games kind of worked.
I see.
And they kind of moved away with that from in Persona 3.
I see. Okay, so I just didn't play the older ones. I mean, I've seen them, but I haven't seen the gameplay of it specifically. But if you like Into the Breach type of gameplay, you're gonna love this type of gameplay.
Or like XCOM or something else like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about positioning. It's all about each character has a different ability or different movements or whatever. Super cool. So get excited for Demon School coming out next month.
Nice. So. Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I want to check it out, even though again, like I'm a little disappointed to hear the story is not great in the demo, but also I kind of expected that.
Well, they kind of jump you in the middle of it too, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, and if you play from the beginning, it's probably not that bad.
Yeah, and then it just, I don't know. Well, you just got to see it for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is like when I play a demo, a lot of times I'm not really like, unless the game progress carries over, I'm usually just skipping all the cutscenes or the dialogue for that reason. Because like, especially like in a case like this too, it would probably make more sense to do that because it's dropped like in the middle of the story where like you don't have a lot of context and stuff. Like, I think if anything, it can sour your mood on a game when it shouldn't.
Right. So, anyways, that's out. I played some other Steam demos. They were just okay.
Okay.
I didn't really catch my eye or anything. Okay, so my second bullet point. Let's talk about the answer, Ryan.
Oh, let's talk about this, Garrett. I've been excited. Of course, we talked about it on last week's show where Garrett is doing a mad dash. Had planned to do a mad dash to finish the answer in 2 weeks before the game leaves Game Pass.
Yes. So I don't know how long this stupid DLC is. I could be halfway through.
I'm going to go to how long to beat because I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I'm going to double check it while you talk.
I'm sure you know the answer to the answer. I think it's about like 30-ish hours, somewhere around there. So what the answer is, it's DLC right after the story of Persona 3 Reload. No spoilers. I'm not going to, add
even describing the story of it is probably going to give spoilers. So
I'm not going to describe the story. It's just after the story. But basically the structure of this DLC is just dungeon crawling.
Yep.
And it's only dungeon crawling. There's no schedule. There's no social links. There's no going to school. It's just dungeon running. And you're basically playing Persona 3 Reload again, but just the dungeon running part from level 25 onward. That's what you're doing. And it just, it's just so grindy. So, as Adam says, it's just a slog. And it's, I don't know, like it's pretty rough.
Because Adam David mentions that it had the same feeling playing episode I guess, but that's actually, the answer is episode I guess. They're the same thing.
Yeah, episode I guess, yes. It's just that, it's pretty rough. The only thing of story behind it is at the end of each of these dungeon runs, there's some, kind of scenes or whatever related to it, but for 99% of this game, you're just dungeon running. And it's not the best in Persona 3, right? Because it's aged quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's funny because at the end of each run I'm doing, there's I get an achievement. And of course, for me, it's a rare achievement on Xbox. It's like only 2% of people going through this DLC.
But also you have to remember, it's like you have to have finished the full game first before you play this. So like the percentage of people already who probably even finished Persona 3 is probably not super high anyways on Xbox.
Yeah,
let alone the people who actually played the answer. Like I think
I would say like it's around 10 to 20% that finish the game.
Yeah.
So 10 times people less.
So about 20% of people who finished the game finished the DLC.
Yeah. So something like that.
Yeah.
I for people who are wanting to go through Persona 3 Reload, get through the game. It's a great game. Checking out episode, I guess I would say maybe look up like some scenes.
I was gonna say the story of beats, especially towards the end, Garrett.
Oh yeah,
are actually really good.
It is.
So
I'm sure it is.
So it's one of those things where like if you're not in love with the dungeon gameplay, then like I would go watch it, like at least a YouTube video or some other thing of like some of the things that do happen, because it's actually like some of the stuff that happens towards the end, Garrett, which again I'm not spoiled, is like really cool, and it actually explains a lot about what's why the game ended the way it did, what happens with the characters in the future and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's just too long. They should have just cut. They should have cut that in half.
Yeah,
easily.
I mean,
and it would be digestible. But
how long to beat says 32 hours, Garrett?
Jeez.
Yeah,
I'm at 16. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I don't want to. I'm really thinking of just looking up some YouTube videos today and just watch that, and then just go back to Cyberpunk.
Yeah, which I know you were having fun with.
Yeah. Last night I did like a 4-hour run through a dungeon as I was watching streams and YouTube videos. I do like the dungeon crawling or whatever. I don't like it when I'm on a deadline by Friday. I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Cool. At least you gave it a shot though. At least you tried it out, right?
I tried it out for quite a bit too.
For free.
It was good in the beginning. Like, I was like, oh, okay, new character, you're getting into a new situation or whatever. But easily after the 2 or 3 dungeon runs, it gets too tiring. It's just like, no, I'm good. All right, so thing number 3. Big day today, Ryan.
Here we go.
Yeah, okay. So I'm adding in new coffee into my Breville machine. Now, whenever new coffee comes into my Breville machine, I have to figure out the consistency, the moisture content. I got to figure all of these physical parameters out with this coffee to make the perfect espresso. And it's a whole experiment. I should have had a notebook or a logbook or something about exactly what parameters for each brand of coffee. But I'm just wanting to let you know, Ryan, I ran out of my previous coffee. A brand new coffee batch is coming in. It's a whole thing, okay? Because you don't want to over extract and then your pressure goes way too high. You're barely getting anything out, and you don't want to under extract where it's basically just water going through the machine. You gotta make sure it's at the right pressure. and get the best extraction. So
Nice.
I'll report back next week.
Okay.
About that. Yes.
I'm interested to hear all about it, Garrett, how it goes,
All right. Thing number 4. I just got advertised a monitor yesterday, and advertised meaning I was looking up YouTube videos of monitors.
I like how you just started that off by saying I was advertised a monitor. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that before, but I love it.
It's not my fault. It's the internet's fault.
Of course.
So there's this new monitor, ROG Strix OLED XG32 UCWG. Isn't that such a name?
That's a Republic of Gamers monitor, Garrett.
It is a Republic of Gamers monitor. Now, it's not one of those 240 hertz ones. Okay. It's the 165 hertz, but it's still 32 inch. It's a true black glossy OLED. Now, that's the target, Ryan. And since it's 165 hertz variant, then it's cheaper than the 240 hertz. Not saying it's, not expensive. It's still very expensive. I think it's like 800 USD or something like that.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about. Well, the kind of the over the top expensive monitors are probably over $1,000, which is a little too much. But I'm eyeing it. Oh my goodness! I just see one of the bullet points and I hate it already. New AI assistant provides dynamic crosshair, dynamic shadow boost, and AI visual functions for improved gaming experiences.
Well, Garrett, you were so interested in this monitor now, but now that just throws it out the window.
Why do you need an AI assistant in a monitor?
Well, I mean, why not? Why not? Garrett, pretty soon, everything's going to have an AI assistant in it. That's the reality we're going to live in. My camera is going to have an AI assistant in it at some point. That's going to like try and find like the best angles and mess with the focus settings and stuff.
I just added in a large language model into one of my functions at work. And it's basically, it goes through my directories in my code. Yeah. And I just ask it questions about summarizing code files and editing files of what it basically. I'm coding like quite a bit, but probably like if I have any stuck or roadblocks or whatever, I just ask that thing and it does it for me. It's like, oh my gosh, this thing is going to replace my job.
Yeah,
like pretty soon it's going to replace my job. Yeah, it's everywhere. LLMs are everywhere. Last thing, wife is coming back Monday, so next week I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to be in ASMR mode.
The return of ASMR, Garrett.
Return of ASMR. Garrett, I won't be as active streaming, but, we do move at the end of September, beginning of October. That's when I'll have my own office, my own room, and so hopefully, I'll get back to normal speaking and do a little bit more live stuff, so that's pretty much it.
I was gonna say, like, you've probably got a ton of packing and stuff to get ready for that too.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Like, it's gonna be a whole thing, Garrett. So.
Oh yeah,
but it'll be so nice when it's done.
Yeah. So I'll be complaining about it over the next few weeks. You'll hear about it in the things.
Excellent.
Yes.
I can't wait, Garrett. But speaking of not being able to wait, we got to get into our main topic, of course. Of course, it is time for us to read from the sacred texts. Because I got nostalgic, Garrett, over the last couple of weeks. I was like, hey,
you did.
I, of course, am an old person. And as old people know, if, back in the day, the way we kind of learned about games a lot of times was actually not through the internet, not through the power of the internet, but actually through the box art, by going to your local Toys R Us or KB Toys or, like Blockbuster Video, looking at the box art for video games and deciding, hey, if that box art looks pretty cool, maybe I pick this game up and play it. So I wanted us to sit down and talk about our favorite video game box art, specifically of role-playing games, since this is a role-playing game show, Garrett.
Nice.
And I, of course, curate a list for myself. Garrett has his own list, and as well, the community came out for this one. Garrett, as soon as I posted in the Discord that hey, we wanted to talk about our favorite RPG box arts, share some of us with ours, and people shared their box arts, Garrett. So we're gonna definitely get into that a little bit later, and I can't wait to show off what the community actually came up with here. So, yeah, Adam David actually brings up a good point, about magazines being really big back then as well. 100%. And again, like a lot of times in the magazines, you would get like, a page advertisement with like the box art on it, or like other stuff to kind of promote the game as well. But yeah, like, opening up like EGM or Nintendo Power or Game Pro, like that, those were the ways we kind of learned about games back then. Especially too, because like, at my age anyways, I was born in an era where like liking video games after the video game crash was considered uncool and dorky. So I didn't have other people to talk about on the playground with video games. I usually would mention video games and would get beat up by other people. So,
okay. So was this before SNES or NES, or
this was in either like the NES and the Genesis and Sega SNES era, essentially.
Yeah.
It wasn't really until I got into like grade 7 or 8 when I was like pretty close to high school age, where like video games started to become a little bit more open and respected in a lot of ways. Not and that only kind of appreciated over time, where like, at the time I couldn't really talk to girls about video games, but I could talk about video games with other guys, because again, if I talked to girls about it, they'd think I was a dork. But there was a lot of I just didn't really meet too many women when I was a kid, or when I was even really until I was towards the end of high school, that played video games. So. Like I always found that was really interesting. Whereas I know, like, Garrett, it was probably completely different for you, where you could probably talk to a lot of kids at your school. Or about
there were quite a bit of. I mean, like, I don't think even for myself, I wouldn't consider myself too much like a gamer. There was other people that were really into games. I wasn't just in particular. I was into Pokemon. I was into Smash Brothers. Like everyone else, everyone knew what Mario Kart was. So yeah, everyone had a kind of a base level understanding of what Call of Duty. That was a big thing. Me and the boys going into Call of Duty. That was a big thing. So, anyways, yeah,
that makes sense. Also, for video viewers,
looks like Ryan got cut off there. See if he comes back.
Hi, thanks, StreamYard.
Oh wow. There we go.
All I did was open up pre-open up like your box art, Garrett, and it totally froze my computer.
Oh man, this is gonna be a lovely show. See if we're gonna share.
The best part is, Garrett, is that it was working totally fine until because I tested all this technology ahead of time.
Yeah, you did.
But it wasn't doing this before, but it's doing it now. So this is gonna be fun. Or I should say, this is where the fun begins.
This is where the fun begins.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I could share too if you need me.
No, it's all good. Well, I'm going to have to share my own eventually. So,
that's true.
Yeah, so let me go here. Let me do this here. The window's completely gone. That's fun. Anyways, Garrett, the long story short, I've always loved video game box art. I've always been very nostalgic for it. So I'm excited to talk about it with you today, Garrett, and show off some of our favorites. So what we're going to do, Garrett, is, it'll be really tough to kind of go back and forth between, some mine and some of yours. Yeah. So we'll go through like yours first and kind of talk about it. And then we'll go through mine and we'll talk about it together. And then we'll, of course, hit up the community. So let's hop into this, Garrett.
Let's hop into it. Let's do it.
So I'm going to pull up your first box art here.
Sure.
Sea of Stars, Garrett.
Yeah, I wanted to do a more recent one, and this one really caught my eye. Sea of Stars, I think it's a good game. Coming from which studio was it again? Actually,
Sabotage.
Sabotage. That's it. Yes.
The makers of The Messenger. That was
the Messenger, and of course, The Messenger is connected with Sea of Stars. It's a great, little indie RPG. With some, action-based, or it's turn-based game with some action elements in there. Really neat pixel art. But this particular box art, and I think this one was for the Japanese box art, if I recall.
I think so, yeah.
It's like really inspired by Japanese anime or whatever. It is so, and sorry for the low resolution. This is the only image I was able to get out of the interwebs. But basically, you have all the main characters kind of like on an adventure going. I felt at first I thought they were going through the clouds, but actually they're running on water or an ocean. You got a little whale below, and you got that's carrying a ship, and then there's many other different characters in the background. We're the three main ones that are up in the front. So, but it's a super cool, heavy inspiration of like I would say Japanese anime. It reminds me a little bit of Studio Ghibli. I would say it has a little tinge of influence of that. But overall, great game. It is a good little indie RPG everyone should check out. But yeah, I really enjoyed this box art.
Yeah, like this box art I think is like so much more evocative of the tone of Sea of Stars than like I think the North American box art looks like.
Yeah.
Like I think this box art kind of reminds me of some of the ones I'm going to mention as well. Like some of the because we would get this a lot, Garrett, where the Japanese box art would be very different, completely different from the North American one. It would be like more anime than the North American one. And I think they were kind of calling back to that era a little bit with this. But I love kind of, the characters all kind of in their cool poses and they're kind of running along the Sea of Stars, Garrett. They're running on the Sea of Stars itself, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And a garden chiming in saying, Bryce Coe is the artist, in case anyone was curious for this one.
Nice.
So, yeah. I thought this one was neat, Garrett. So I'm glad that you decided to share it because I think that it's pretty cool. And I've forgotten until you sent this over, Garrett, that this box art existed because I only kind of when I picture the box art for this game, I always picture the North American one.
Yeah, the other one, which it's still good too. It's not bad. It's just I think this one is really cool to see the collection of the cast of characters. In this little design.
I agree. Well, speaking of modern games, Garrett, I think the next one is also a modern game as well because it's Chained Echoes.
Yes, Chained Echoes. I think this one, I wanted to shout out some just little indie RPGs that does a pretty good job with box art. And I was like, shout out to them. And they're really going out and getting these artists actually, some work. I haven't played all the way through Chained Echoes, but I really enjoyed the box art of this game. Again, it's a lot of cast of characters just all around. It kind of reminds me of a movie poster in a way because it's all your characters and different poses or whatever. It has your swordsman, your bowman, or whatever. You got the main character up front. But overall, I do enjoy like the character design of this box art. As all it has that painting kind of influence, like a not storybook, but it has that pastel color influence. Going on here.
Well, I'm going to say, Garrett, that this is actually very reminiscent of a lot of Final Fantasy box art. And in fact, you're going to see that with some examples that I actually have on my side of the field because I didn't even realize you had this in here until after I'd put my collection together. But there's like a couple of Final Fantasy box arts that look just like this with like the same kind of look and everything.
So there you go. I just want to shout out another indie RPG, Chained Echoes. Pretty good box art.
I think it's pretty good. But next up, Garrett.
Borderlands. This is seminal to me. It's so good to see this type of box art. It does remind me of 2009. That type of era where we're getting a little grungy, we're getting a little brown in our video games, we're getting a little realistic. But man, Borderlands coming out, having that wasteland style that I certainly influenced from Mad Max type of environment. You got the grunt, the psycho, having his hand in a form of a gun to his head, and then all the splatter on the other side is just all the bandits in the background and in their vehicles. I like the box art because it's not really representing the Vault Hunters, which is your main characters, as much. It's all about the psycho. And if you look at every box art Borderlands does, it's all about the psycho doing this pose in some way.
Or doing some kind of pose. And I also love, too, kind of this part here towards the side here. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit on here. Where it's got like the battle going on in the part that like bursts out of his head where like the gunshot would go. Like, I think that's like such a nice touch. And when I was doing some research, because I was curious to know outside of our community, like what some people's favorite box arts of all time was. Like this is one that comes up repeatedly as people's favorites.
It's overall pretty. I remember seeing this, on store shelves, and I'm like, I want that game. My friends first had Borderlands, and playing it, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then seeing the box art and everything, I just need to grab it for Xbox 360. So,
nice, man. Yeah, good choice, man, with Borderlands. But next up, Wii U Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, Garrett.
Yeah, dude, this was such a great box art. I like the kind of, it's like they did it in like, I don't know, like colored pencil or something like that.
Yeah.
It has all the, the Japanese anime characters trying to be pop stars or whatever, all in different poses. I love the green in the background.
That's what I was going to say. That it stands out so much, Garrett. Like I love it.
It's so bright, so vibrant. Of course, I mean, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, it's all about you becoming a pop star, right?
Like a J-pop star, essentially.
Like a J-pop star. And then you have your Fire Emblem characters in there as well, which is pretty neat. You got the little stadium in the background on the top right. But man, every time I see Tokyo Mirage Sessions, is like I just am reminded of the box art because it's just so colorful and so bright. And then you see all the different characters in their different poses. And I really like it.
This was actually one that also was on my list too, Garrett, that I ended up actually pulling because I saw that you had it. So I was like, okay, we'll talk about it when we get to Garrett's stuff.
The new box art's pretty cool too, with the one on the Switch, Encore. And it's a little bit different than this, but overall same vibe.
100%. I even love these little almost like stars or something. Like it's kind of like little like blips of light are like coming out as well. Like it's almost like light's kind of like filling the screen from like the bottom right hand corner here, which is all blank. It's almost like the scene that it's portraying is like the light's gonna eventually like envelop this entire scene. So I kind of love that idea as well. It gets super colorful, vibrant. It catches the eye when you see it on the shelf. Like I think this box art's really cool. But all right, moving on. We got The World Ends With You.
I think I just love the style of this game so much. I like the characters, the way that they're designed, and then it has that because it's of the time as well. It's like 2007 or whatever, maybe a little earlier. It has that punk rock feel, that rebellious feel. You can tell it's a lot of Japanese influence as well. With this game, I really enjoy the font of The World Ends With You.
Yeah, even though it's like so hard to read.
It's so hard to read. You really have to look at it. And then it's funny because they have the crazy font and then they have the regular font below.
Yeah, of course, just in case you can't read it.
Yeah, very tiny text. You really have to study the box art in order to understand what's going on, especially with the character that's above. The 4 characters, I'm like, what is he doing? He's like, okay, I think he's just jumping or whatever. He's just doing like a B-box move. Yeah. Oh no, he's on a skateboard. That's what he's doing.
Yes, so, he's ollieing over the other characters' heads essentially.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll all be fine. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out World Ends With You.
I didn't mean to click off of it, but I like it too. I think it's pretty cool.
Next
one though is Persona 5, and this is like the Steelbook edition, right?
Yes, Steelbook edition. This was the base one. I absolutely love this Steelbook edition. It's the gang all coming out of the city and with the what's the cat's name again?
Morgana.
Oh, Morgana, yeah. I got this day one.
Yeah, like the red sky in the background is like really cool, and like the way like the colors like contrast there. Like it's only black, white, and red, but the way that it plays with that is so cool.
And the intro video has the same style as well. It's always a red background and then black buildings, and then it's all silhouette or whatever. This was at the time, Ryan, I needed to get the Steelbook edition. I was like, that looks so good. And so
this was the version I had too, because I had the collector's edition of Persona 5, which came with this steelbook as well. And I lent it to a friend, and they moved away, and I never asked for it back or anything like that. But I remember having this steelbook and actually really liking it. I thought it was cool.
I do have the Persona 5 Royal one as well.
Okay.
But I actually enjoyed this box art more than the 5 Royal one.
Okay. Nice. All right, moving on. Fallout New Vegas, guy. I'll zoom in a bit. Here we go.
Yeah, so I mean, this was my first Fallout game, and it really was because of, partially because of the box art.
Yeah.
I came across a Best Buy. I was like, man, what other games do I want to play? It's like, oh, I hear this Fallout game's pretty good, and then I just see this. He looks like a bounty hunter. You got the pistol, you got the gas mask. You're wondering what's going on here. And I love how it's not a huge vault, suit that like what it was in Fallout 3. It has that red tinge in the back. You got New Vegas in the background. So
it's also one of the only times really like the Fallout box art doesn't have like a power armor suit on it. This is like it's so different from it, and it kind of looks like a Jango Fett kind of character or something.
It really does.
Going into this like almost like this old west town, but you see like kind of like the Las Vegas buildings kind of in the background here a little bit. Yeah, kind of teasing things. Yeah, this box art's pretty cool, man.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And then this is your last one, I believe.
Last one, yeah, and the most recent one. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is such a creepy game, let me tell you. It gets into weird, dark stuff. I don't know, like it has all these crazy monster designs, and I think Vengeance, the box art for this, really shows how crazy the character designs gets. And so it has a bunch of these, you have the main protagonist, but then you have a bunch of villains in the background, and monsters in different poses or whatever. You just trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
But I really do enjoy this box art because it just kind of tells you how kind of creepy, kind of dark and weird this game can get.
And like the original box art was kind of weird in the same way too, Garrett.
It is.
But this Vengeance box art here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we see it a little bit better. But I kind of love the look of this. I also love just like it's got the Shin Megami Tensei 5 logo, but then it's got the V, the second red V, kind of like layered underneath it with like, and it's kind of like tied together with like the Vengeance. Like I just like that logo a lot. Yeah. This box art is actually really cool, and I just love the use of color in this one as well. Where like the main character is very blue and he like stands out really well ahead of like the villains that are kind of in the background.
Yeah, look at those long fingernails on that one. Oof, jeez.
Yeah. Oh my god, so
it's
cool.
hardcore.
Yeah, good box arts, Garrett. I think you had a pretty good selection there. Let me start queuing up mine here. But because I think you got some good stuff. It'll be hard for me to top that, but I think
I'm sure you're gonna grab some older box art that I've never seen in my life. So I'm sure you're gonna.
I can't wait to show you some of these
for sure.
Let's just click this button here. All right, let me go here. All right, there we go. So this first one, Garrett, is actually a Japanese box art. This is for Shining Force 2. So
that's nice.
One of my favorite role-playing games of all time, of course. It was the role-playing game that got me into role-playing games, as we've kind of talked about on the show. And the North American box art is very generic. It's like some dude and he's like, oh, and he's like kicking, and there's like this cloudy background behind him. And it just says Shining Force 2. Like it's very, very generic. Yeah. But this one, Garrett, dude, there's so much going on. You've got like Bowie the hero, who's up in the top right hand corner. He's kind of like the main character. You've got like Kaizen, who's like the wizard character, and he's like he's got his arms up and he's like casting a spell. You've got kind of the princess, who's kind of like the main character. That you're kind of like rescuing along the way, and then like the rest of the members of the Shining Force along the bottom here. I just love the way that all the characters are styled. I love the use of color. And this was like a box art that if I would have seen it on shelves, Garrett, it would have immediately popped out to me.
That's really cool.
If I looked at it, but unfortunately, like I said, this was for the Japanese release of Shining Force, and I wish this was like the box art we got here because it would have got me like so much more interested probably in this if it was for this.
Look at that mouse holding like 5 daggers.
Yeah,
at the end point, Slade. At the sharp point, like that's badass.
He's gonna throw them.
He's ready to throw them. Yeah, all 5 of them.
Slade is kind of like your thief character in the game. And he's really cool. And I didn't mention it here, but if you zoom in a little bit here, this is Bowie like holding the sword, and the sword's like coming towards the screen, and it's the sword of light. So of course it's like all
it's like a
lit up
beam
and stuff.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Dude, this box art is so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I enjoy it.
Yeah, the original Shining Force box art as well, Garrett. The North American one, I think you remember, is like some dude standing on a mountain with a skeleton coming up to him. Yeah. But like the Japanese box art for the first one is pretty good too, but I don't think it's as like flashy or as good as I think the box art for the second one. So, yeah. All right, my next one, Garrett, is the classic, 1997 Final Fantasy VII, of course. It's got Cloud with the Buster Sword, and he's like staring towards the Shinra building. Like this is such iconic box art for this game. Like this is a game like you would see it on the shelf, and you're like, ooh, what is this game all about? I need to play this one.
Look at that sword. It's the Buster Sword that really gets me.
And also I love that because obviously. It's kind of like similar to what we talked about with the Persona 5 box art, but I love the fact that it's the Shinra building and the stuff in the background is black and white, but Cloud is the thing, and the logo are the things that are in color. And it just really makes like Cloud as a character like stand out, and in his like badass pose, looking up to the children building, like I'm gonna take you on up there. And it's from like a really iconic scene from the game where you're going there to kind of rescue Aerith. So this is on many people's list is like their favorite box of all time, and it makes sense why, including mine, because I think it's really iconic. And I know Skycatcher agrees in the chat.
Super iconic.
Next up, speaking of iconic box arts, and speaking of Final Fantasy, Garrett, the original Final Fantasy on NES. This is a box art that I remember seeing on the shelves of like my video store all the time and wondering what this game was all about. And again, it's very simplistic. It's got the sword and this axe on it, and it's got like the Final Fantasy logo in red, and of course it's got the text "Enter a whole new realm of challenge and adventure." But specifically, I'm going to zoom in here. This was the part that always caught my eye the most. In between the sword and the axe, there's this globe, and it's got this like castle that's floating in the sky with this what we know is the airship here, but it kind of looks, if you don't know it's an airship, it kind of looks like this floating eye, and you're wondering like what is going on with this flying castle. Like it looks so cool. So even though the box art itself is very simplistic, like this is one that's like also, like, to me, as an old school NES player, like, just as iconic, I think, is this Final Fantasy VII box art.
That floating island castle thing or whatever reminds me of Castle in the Sky, the Studio Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
Looks so good.
Nice. And then, of course, I love the fact that along the bottom, it's like it has to tell you it includes an 84-page Explorer's Handbook, Game World, and Dungeon maps, plus full-color monster chart, Garrett. So full color. Won't get lost.
That's nice.
Yeah. A lot of games actually, especially role-playing games, would include some of these things back in the day. Yeah. So,
because you didn't have the internet.
Exactly. Well, again, sticking with Square Enix, Garrick, and sticking with iconic box arts.
Oh yeah.
Secret of Mana on the Super Nintendo. This was one that always caught my eye at like Toys R Us or something. Like this was a game that I wanted, even though I knew nothing about this game. And just looking at this box art itself, like again, it kind of like we talked about with Tokyo Mirage Sessions, like the green, just the luscious green background, like with the moss kind of growing over these trees and stuff in the background. But then the other characters kind of in like very small and kind of in the forefront with, the colored like they kind of are in the game because they're kind of like very tiny here, as opposed to this like giant background here. And also, I just love these birds, these red birds along the logo, kind of flying around. Like I just, it's such a lush looking area that I thought this was always really cool, and it just always catches my eye every time I see it.
Yeah, for sure. Really
like,
cool.
Outside of even just role-playing games, this is honestly probably one of my favorite box arts across video games. Just
it's definitely like, it is a painting. Like, you see that background, it's all nature. Like I love that tree, that huge. I'm sure that's the Tree of Life, right?
It was the Tree of Mana, actually.
Mana.
But close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's this huge, but it's all that moss green at the bottom. It's very, very
and then
pretty.
this giant growing green plant that's off to the side too. Like, dude, this is so cool. And again, it's like, it gives you a preview of like something like that we're not used to seeing here in North America, but you would see in like a more tropical setting, or if you lived in like a rainforest or something. So it gave you this like glimpse into like another world. Which
let me read these features of the hit game Secret of Mana. You got 16 meg memory.
Yep.
You got a battery pack backup saves up to 4 games.
Yep, up to 4 games, Garrett.
Up
you can
to
save
4
up
games.
to 4 games.
Multiplayer capability, multi-dash player capability.
Yes, because this game, by the way, was a game that you could play with the multi-tap, where it was 3-player co-op.
And then player strategy manual and map. And then first game in a new action adventure series.
Even though it technically wasn't the first, because the first was actually on the Game Boy. But
yes, but
I love that they put that on there, though. Yeah, just to appeal to North America. So yeah, Secret of Mana, I love that box art. It's so good. Moving on, we got Lunar Silver Star Story.
Okay.
On the PlayStation 1.
Right.
And this is one that again came in like a fancy box. I've shown it off on the show before, so I won't, dive into it too much. But I just again kind of love the 3 kind of characters that they highlight on here. We've got kind of Alex in the bottom right hand corner with the sword.
Right.
We've got the magical emperor in the background. He's like casting this spell. I love kind of the aura of like evil that's kind of coming off there. And you've got like the goddess Althena in the top left-hand corner, along with like the moon, or I should say the earth that's in the sky, because Lunar takes place on the moon. So I kind of love this box art, even though again it's not too complicated. I've always really loved this box art for this version of the game.
It's good.
Yeah,
good stuff.
It's very anime. Speaking of classic box arts, Garrett, I've actually got 2 of them, of course, because we got Golden Sun and also Golden Sun: The Lost Age, on the Game Boy Advance. And again, it's really just the 4 characters kind of in this pose, but I love kind of underneath the 4 characters. First of all, it's very colorful, but then below them, you've got like these enemies down here, Garrett, that they're like destroying along the way. Yeah, like I've always kind of loved that, in the same way that like I love like that art that comes from like the Borderlands art as well. This was one as well like that really just stood out to me on the shelf. Again, not just because it was colorful, but it looked visually interesting. And the Lost Age, the sequel, kind of has a similar vibe going on, but it's got this like almost like this castle that's in the background.
Is that rain or something, or is that just the design in the background?
It's like the design of this castle that is kind of like made to look like rain almost.
Yeah. It looks more depressing than the other one for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Because and this is kind of like it picks up directly in it. Like these games essentially were supposed to be one game at one point that they split into 2 because it was too big for the Game Boy Advance. So I've always kind of loved the look of both of these games on the GBA. But all right, moving on. We got The Last Story on the Wii. This is for the collector's edition. Now I know Sean would be like hating this because he doesn't like the last story of the game. But one of the things that actually drew me to The Last Story, made me want to play it, was actually this incredible box art on this special edition of the game. You've got kind of like the 2 main characters of The Last Story kind of in this like just kind of like in this casual pose with their weapons, and then you've got this like tiger that's behind them, and then kind of this door behind them, and it's like very white but in the background. But I love just the contrast of the characters themselves and the use of the color, the use of the blue specifically on this box art that really like drew me in, and especially with like modern box arts. I've never really been drawn into them in a lot of ways, but I kind of this one just always caught my eye whenever I see it on the shelf.
For sure. Question for you, Ryan: is that a blue and black dress or a white and gold dress? That's the question.
I'm very tempted just to click the next button, but I will mention Skycatcher is saying in the chat, I was going to send The Last Story to So Beautiful, because Skycatcher also sent their box arts as well. Yes, this one looks pretty good, and then actually like the original box art of just the girl on the cover, in an interesting pose, I think, with like that's very like black and white, like very minute colors. I think is actually pretty good too.
Yeah.
So.
That guy, I think he has like a 12-pack going on. I don't know. There's just so many abs.
Like, look at these muscles, Garrett.
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 12. I think he's not human. So.
Or that's what happens when you live in a fantasy setting, Garrett. You get so many muscles.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, next up, Garrett. Speaking of Final Fantasy box art, this is the Shadowbringers Collector's Edition box art.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And just this one has like a Dark Knight riding on this like pitch black horse.
Yeah.
But then he's holding like this woman who's like glowing and basically mostly like white on this like starkly dark background. It stands out to me so well. Like I love just the look of this box art. Where again, your character, the Warrior of Light, is going on this journey to save this world, but the only way to do so is to become the Warrior of Darkness. And this represents that really, really well.
I love the sketch. It's like a sketchbook drawing,
Exactly.
and a little bit of color, but not much. It's a little bit of blue in the background, but that's pretty much it. Everything else seems to be black.
And this is Amano-san who did all of the art going all the way back to like the Japanese version of Final Fantasy 1.
Wow.
He's kind of been like what considered like the Final Fantasy artist for the longest time. And that's why it was actually such a big deal when he did like new art for the Magic the Gathering set. Because it had been a while since he'd done like a piece like this. But we'll see that him again in a second here, because I wanted to highlight 2 Final Fantasy 14 box arts, because I think they've done like all of the box arts for the expansions have all been really good. But this one actually kind of calls back to your Chained Echoes one, Garret, with Endwalker. It's got like all the different characters, and they're in like actually very similar poses to like the Chained Echoes box art. But again, this one, I also just love the use of color, like this one, like the blues and like the pinks and
I like the pinks in the background,
the like
for sure,
blues in the and then like each of the characters really being highlighted in their own unique way, which I think is pretty awesome. So next up, Garret, Diablo 2.
Yes,
this is
Look
like
at that.
this is such iconic box art, and again, it's like very it's not it doesn't like it's very plain in a lot of ways, because like this skeleton dude, he's got a hood over his face just staring at the camera,
He's smiling.
the use of like just black and red and then like orange to kind of represent flames in this box art, Garret, is like so cool. So this was one that again really, really popped on the shelf when you're going around. But and a lot of the Diablo box arts kind of look like this as well. So moving on, we got Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition. This is the re-release of Chrono Cross. The original Chrono Cross box art is kind of boring. It's like Surge and Kid kind of in a little pose like with their PS1 characters, with like links in the background. But this one it kind of like evokes a lot of the spirit of the game, where it's kind of like this. You're going between these 2 dimensions, but it's a very like island heavy place that you're exploring, and you're going these boats and going from place to place, and it's got Kid and Surge with their dog like going on this adventure together on this boat, and they look so carefree kind of here, just sailing like it just really represents the game in a way that the original box art never did, I think.
They're really cool.
Next up, Garret, speaking of Secret of Mana, this is the Trials of Mana box art. This is the Japanese only version, because this, of course, were only released on the Super Famicom. It didn't actually release on the original Super Nintendo. But again, similar to the original Secret of Mana, what I love about this box art is not so much the characters. I think the characters in kind of this GB style is okay, but what really draws my eye with this one is actually the tropical background on it, where again, similar to the Secret of Mana one, it really kind of like gives me a window into like a new place, like a place that's unfamiliar to me, like this like fantasy tropical setting. And I've always really like loved and appreciated that about this box art.
Yeah, definitely.
So like
really
you've
cool.
got the coastline and these little islands and stuff. I really enjoyed this. Just a couple more left here, Garret. Of course, I had to include some very silly box arts, but also box arts that I love, Garret. So
that's amazing.
This is Virtual Hydlide on the Sega Saturn. This is actually a remake of an NES game called Hydlide. But of course it's in 3D, so they decided to call it Virtual Hydlide for some reason. But it's got all they've got kind of your new 2 main characters here, like this princess who you're rescuing, and of course I think it's Jim the Knight.
Jim. Oh my goodness. What a name for a knight, Jim.
Jim the Knight. I love Jim the Knight. It's so good. And then of course you've got like this dragon that you fight in the background, this vampire that you eventually fight, the wizard, the skeleton dude, and he's got like this little.
He's like crooked, here. Like he's just like his head is just cracked on the other side there.
Yeah, I just love this box art simply because of how silly it is. But also, Virtual Highlight is like one of those games that most people do not like, but I like because of, it's very, very silly. So, and I mean, for God's sakes, his name is Jim the Knight. Of course, it's very silly. And speaking of silly box arts, Garrett, I mentioned this one on the show before.
We have to talk about this one.
The NES classic Ghost Lion, which of course has, this lion who's like in like stark white, fur, and then this woman who's in these like aerobics tights, but she's in like a fantasy settings.
That's so late 80s, right? Like that's wow.
Except for the fact that this game came out in 1994, Garrett.
I can't believe that. Like, look at the hair. It's like the mane of the lion. Like
100% it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's pretty funny.
I had to bring this up, and the boots. Yep. Sean brings up the boots. Like, look at how tall these boots are, guys.
Yeah. Very tall.
Now, to be fair, the girl who is in Ghost Lion, she comes from the real world into the world where the Ghost Lion lives. So it makes sense as to why she wouldn't be like dressed as like a fantasy character. But at the same time, man, this is not what the character looks like at all in the game. So I just love it. And finally, Garrett, my final box art.
Yes.
Not a role-playing game one, but I had to include it because it's one of my all-time favorite box arts. You might be familiar with those one, Garrett. Phalanx on the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Have you ever seen this box art before, Garrett?
I've seen this box art multiple times. Yes.
Yes. For folks that have never seen this on the audio side, it's a hyperspeed shootout in space because it's got the spaceship in the top right-hand corner. Because you're going to space. It's a 2D shooting space shooter game. But then the main highlight of this, of course, is the old man playing the banjo.
Old man playing banjo. That's the best. It really is.
Yeah, it's so crazy that this was actually like what they considered for the box art for this game, because like the Japanese one, Garrett, is like the spaceship in space like flying towards the camera, and then it's like a bunch of space stuff in the background. Right. But for the North American box art, for some reason they were like, all right, let's make the thing in the background the spaceship, but let's make like the thing that you focus your eye on the old dude with the banjo.
Is the old dude with the banjo? Is like, hey, what's going on out there? There's a spaceship out in space.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's so cool.
Oh man, that's so weird. It's I don't know what they were thinking back then.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know why they thought like there was some kind of focus testing they must have done to point them to be like, hey, this is the way to go with this.
I don't know if they did any focus testing. They're like, yeah, this will work out.
My God. So I had to feature it here because honestly, this is like one of my all-time favorite box arts, because it's like, that's the thing though. It kind of worked on me though, Garrett, because like when I would go to Toys R Us and I'd see this box art, I was like, man, I kind of want to play this game because I want to see what this old man with the banjo is, playing stuff about, because he's almost like a bard in a lot of ways. He's telling the story of like the hyperspeed shootout in space. So I love this. I love this box art so much.
Wonderful.
All right. So there you go. So those are all our box arts. But now let's talk about the community box arts, Garrett.
We got a lot of community box arts. Everyone went really out on it. So thank you so much.
Exactly. And also, Garrett, we don't ever usually get to talk about the Discord that often on the show. But of course, the Carpool Gaming Discord, first of all, it's free to join. And I know people had mentioned in the comments before they had trouble joining the Discord earlier this year. That's all been fixed. So the link is always in the description of our podcast. Whether you're listening on audio feeds or visual feeds, you can always check out the Discord, the Carpool Gaming Discord at any time. And it's really awesome. We have a great community of people who hang out and talk about games. So we're going to directly read the questions from here and then obviously highlight some of the box arts. So
for sure.
Let me pop up here. Got the Discord here, and unfortunately there's no way to cut out this section of it, so we're gonna have to live with it here. So of course we're gonna start with Savoy Prime, who says, sup cavers, Ryan, it's a cool and cloudy 81 degrees Fahrenheit, felt great today, much better than the heat wave from last week. On to the topic. Some of my favorite box arts are Chrono Trigger, Suikoden 2, Dark Cloud 2, and Kingdom Hearts. Have a great show, and of course we've got the Chrono Trigger box art here, guys.
Yeah, wonderful box art right there.
Yeah, of course.
Iconic.
Drawn by Akira Toriyama.
Yes.
Really, really cool box art. Yeah, this was one that might have been on my list, but I saw Ron had posted it, so I wanted to shine out, highlight it here. Suikoden 3, Garrett.
3.
PlayStation 2. Kind of got like their 3 main characters in the background. Then if I zoom in here, you kind of see like all the other characters, this other Suikoden characters kind of in the background here.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
I really enjoyed this one too.
Yeah. And then we've got, Dark Cloud 2, of course. We got,
yes.
kind of the two kids. One of them just holding a wrench,
yes.
while the other one is like holding a sword. And there's like a clock in the background.
Oh, yeah,
like
you're right.
Dark Cloud 2 written there. And then you've got like some enemies along the ground here. Or sorry, the train here.
The train and then,
there's like an airship and stuff. Yeah, that box art's actually pretty cool. Actually.
Yeah, really cool.
And then, of course, Garrett, the classic.
Kingdom Hearts, of course.
Kingdom Hearts. I love the fact, too, that the moon is in the shape of a heart in the background. And then it's like the brightest thing on here, and then you've kind of got like the silhouettes of the characters kind of in the front here.
No, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Good choices, Ron. Next up, we got Crocodile. It says, the OG Paper Mario box art sold me at Family Video as a kid, and it turns out it was pretty good. So, yeah, you just zoom in here. Look at this Paper Mario box art, guy.
That is so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course that would grab my eye too if I was looking at it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's so cute, and it's so just different from what we'd really seen from Mario at the time. Because traditional Mario box art looked very different from this, growing up. So.
Well, this is the first time. This is the first time having Paper Mario, so having in that 2D sticker. Yeah, kind of set. It's a very cute box.
It's almost like these are like little pieces of paper that are like plastered against like this like yellow background essentially, which is really cool. Like I think it looks even better in person. Skycatcher says here are some of my favorites I got on display here. So of course, Garrett, we've got the Xenobabe Chronicles X Special Edition here.
You got the mech,
giant mech, and like this like rotated thing in the background here.
Yeah, which is so high definition.
Yeah. And then, of course,
Unicorn Overlord.
Yeah. Unicorn Overload on the PlayStation 5. Just really, really cool character poses and just that incredible, like, vanilla-ware hand-drawn art.
Yes.
It looks really cool. And again, that's just what it looks like in the game, which is just even better for that box art. And then, of course, you mentioned this earlier. Shin Megami Tensei 5. And this is kind of the original box art for the original version.
I really enjoy the original box art as well. I know Skycatcher had this on his lineup. So yeah, these are the kind of the original villains. I wonder if I didn't get into Vengeance. I think the other ones are the main villains for the DLC or the second path or whatever. This is for the original path, especially that golden angel guy in the bottom right and that woman in the top right.
Yeah.
Oh, they were a pain.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
And of course, and you spent so much time going through that, Garrett.
Yes.
Next up, we got Ryu, who says, here are some of my favorite cover arts, and I'll actually go through them as we go. So we've got Valkyrie Profile, Garrett, for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, really cool.
We've got kind of the Valkyrie kind of in the background. It's like very, very kind of minute with like the logo just front and center here. Should deny the divine destiny of the destinies. Is the what it says.
That's an interesting phrase. Yeah.
Valkyrie Profile though is such a cool game. Like this is a game honestly I would love for you to play at some point, Garrett. But next up, Ease
really
8
cool.
Lacrimosa of Dawn. Again, great use of color on this one. You've kind of got the two main characters with like the dual worlds. Like you've got the main character with like the nice background on the right, like the day background. Then you've got the other character with the night background. It's really, really cool. We got Drakengard 3, Garrett.
Drakengard 3, yeah.
For the PlayStation 3. The game about the woman with like the flower in her eye.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Right in her eyeball.
It looks really cool. Yeah, and it's just very cool. Anime-esque and just simplistic and to the point. And then Deus Ex is like the
that's pretty cool cover art for sure.
Yeah, this is like an iconic piece of box art. Like you would see that all the time at like your Toys R Us or your KB Toys or Best Buy or something all the time in the PC section. Next up, we got Nagachaka with some of his, and I'll kind of read his question after we go through theirs. Would it be any surprise to you, Garrett, that he picked Nier Automata?
Oh yes, of course.
As one of his.
The hit video game Nier Automata out on the Nintendo Switch 1.
Again, it looks really cool though, because again, you've got 2B holding 9S.
Yes,
like something bad happened, and then you have like the third character that you play as, which I will not name, so people know, don't get spoiled.
Game of the Yoha edition.
It looks really cool. That's the version with the DLC, but this cover is the same for the normal version too,
right?
As well. But next up, of course, Paper Mario with 1,000-Year Door, Garrett, on the Switch.
Yeah, so cute. Look at that Mario sticker.
Yeah, I love that. And then of course you go down here and you've kind of got the stage in the background, like with the audience kind of watching, which is really cool. Next up, we got Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube, Garrett. With
good stuff.
The 4 main characters kind of in a cool pose with like this like blue kind of like wind kind of swirling around them with some other characters kind of dialed in there. And then of course the Steelbook for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You've got like this like cool sky background with great use of color in there. And then you've got Tifa, Aerith, and Sephiroth on the cover with like their reflections.
Yeah, that's super cool.
With like the watery kind of ground that are there as well. And Nagachaka mentions, of course, some of his favorite cover arts, Nier Automata, Paper Mario, Tales of Symphonia, and the on the GameCube, and the Best Buy Steelbook. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Because there was a different Steelbook with Cloud, Sephiroth, and Zack on it as well.
I see.
Which is kind of like the main kind of version of that box art as well. Next up, of course, we've got Skycatcher, who says, so much great cover art, I couldn't help myself. This one is actually, first one is for Dragon's Crown Pro. This is kind of the
Dragon's Crown,
of Dragon's Crown, because the original Dragon's Crown had like a different set of box art, but this one's really cool. It's got kind of the characters on it, and this one's like a steelbook that has like it's elevated, so all the characters themselves kind of like pop out of the steelbook.
Yeah, they pop out. Yeah, super cool.
Which is really cool.
It includes skill cards.
It does include all the skill cards, Garrett, as well. Next up, of course, Skycatcher also had the original Final Fantasy, but he's got it like in box. Which is so cool. Yeah. The next one is Star Ocean: The Last Hope on the Xbox 360. Pretty cool. Spaceships.
Pretty cool. Spaceships.
Great use of green.
The silhouette main character in the background.
Yeah, where you don't actually get to see his face or anything like that.
Yeah, a little bit of an eye.
Yeah, I kind of like the look there. He's even holding like his sword that's like going through this planet that's there. Oh, this one's great actually. Jeanne d'Arc, Garrett.
Jeanne d'Arc,
for the PSP.
That looks good.
It's got Jeanne on the cover. She's like in the rain, it just kind of like has this sad pose to it. And then it's got the beautifully drawn, like hand drawn, like castle or town that's in the background, with like rain pouring down. Dude, this box art's so cool.
So cool.
Yeah. Next one, we got Vandal Hearts, Garrett. I don't know if you've ever heard of this game.
I don't think I've heard of this one.
This is a Konami role-playing game. This one's actually pretty rare. And it's got like this dude standing on this pillar and he's got a sword and there's this giant dragon in the background.
Right.
And I'm like, how does he even attack this dragon?
Yeah.
And then you've got this woman kind of in the bottom right-hand corner as well.
He's like a mage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
And then we got Ys 1 and 2 Chronicles. I don't think I've ever seen this box art. It's a DVD-ROM though.
It is a DVD-ROM. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Yeah.
It's got this kind of like statue in the foreground with like these eyes.
It's a classic statue for Ys.
This is very like a very like abstract kind of
I like it.
Piece of box art.
I like it a lot.
I think this one's pretty cool. And then final one. Speaking of Paper Mario,
it's the Japanese cover or something.
Yeah, but look at the way versus the North American one, Garrett, how like it like they're elevated, like it pops out.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. I think it actually is like set up this way on the box art. Where, like,
it's the same ridged setup, but yeah.
Wait, in the North American one though, it's not ridged like this. Like this one,
it's not ridged.
It's like physically popping out of the box art, which is so cool. It's just, of course, listed as just Mario Story instead of Paper Mario.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, good pick, Skycatcher. I love this. Quaggy says, one of my favorites, along with its title screen and the music, and it's the Wii version of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, and you just have the Monado right there. No main characters in this box art. No people. Just the huge, I was looking down here, maybe there's a person down there, but no. It's just I think it's a vehicle or something, equipment. I don't even know. But yeah, the Monado is iconic for the Xenoblade series, so it's really cool to see.
Nice. And then I don't remember.
I think that's it.
More. No, Sean
comes in. Yes.
Phalanx.
That's his favorite box art is Phalanx. Got it.
Yeah, from the show, of course. This is a screenshot from the show. It's his favorite. That's his favorite box art. So, huge shout out again to everyone in the community who shared their picks. We appreciate each and every one of you. I think that was super cool to be able to see what y'all's favorite is. And again, I love video game box art. Again, I'm just a big sucker for it. So I love being able to do that. But then finally, Garrett, final question of the show has nothing to do with role-playing game box art at all.
Yeah.
this question came to us from the chat. This is Fulia, who says, "Hello, RPG Cave fam. Question for later. Later is officially now, Fulia. I have just finished Claire Obscure Expedition 33 today.
Yay.
And I loved it, especially the music. What did you think of the soundtrack in Expedition 33? So, quick preface, I have not played Expedition 33. So I have no idea what the soundtrack actually sounds like.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's orchestral. It's very, European, French influenced music, but has some modern, like, I think they hired the person out of Bandcamp. Like they were listening to their music online. It's like, we need to get this guy or this girl. I forgot. I'm sorry who the composer was, but they grabbed it, and so many songs. It fits all the different kind of worlds or kind of lands that they kind of go throughout the entire game. They are some really cool beats, and I listen to it frequently on Spotify if I want to get into like in workout or just walking around. It's really good OST for sure.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have to talk about. Maybe that'll come up again when we eventually talk about soundtracks again, Garrett, because we did an episode a long time ago about RPG soundtracks, but it's been a few years since we did that episode. So, maybe at some point we revisit that and maybe talk about Expedition 33. But, Garrett, I think that's going to do it for today's episode of the RPG Cave. But before we go, of course, we got to thank all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Brendan Myers, a.k.a. The Winter Gamer. Also, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on the Xbox Drive. You can find all of his music over at his Linktree, linktr.ee/pme.jib, or just search PME or Purple Monkey Entertainment on your music service of choice. And Technical Michael, aka TechMike, who says, whether you're Kevesi or Agnian, you're a Xenobabe at heart. Links to all of our ultimate producers can always be found in the description of our podcasts. Our platinum producers, Benny, Smokin' Joe, the Captain in Tim Paullin, and our gold members, Adam K., Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily O'Kelly, John 32, Laura, Ligerwoods 330, Mr. Giggles, OldMrFrump, Peje P, and Stephen Keller. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. If you want to hop in the car with us, head over there, choose the tier that's right for you. And now, Garrett, plugs go.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Blind Explosion. You can find me on the Discord. I read every single message in the RPG Cave. I do. I'm not going to read all your reviews and your articles or whatever, but I will read your messages, and I may or may not get back to you. That's just how it is. You can also follow me on Backlogged. I think I should put my entry for a Persona 3 Reload, I guess. And then just put the abandoned mark.
What? You're going to abandon it? Oh, no.
No. I think we're going to abandon it. So, anyways, I'm going to get back to Cyberpunk, where it was a pretty fun game.
I mean, again, I'm excited because we're going to be we're going to talk about that soon when we finish it. So.
Yeah.
And then I can't wait until the game I have for you after that. But I'm also toying with the idea, Garrett, and we'll talk about that. I'm going to put this into the ether publicly because I'm curious to know what people think about this idea.
Okay.
But I always assign Garrett a game to play, but I'm like, well, what if at some point Garrett assigns me a game to play?
Oh.
Like I'm thinking about that idea. I'm like, that'd be really interesting to kind of turn.
I need to find a game that you haven't played, which is actually pretty difficult.
That is true. There is a lot of work that would probably go into that, but yeah.
But you have a wheel. You have a spreadsheet, I would think.
Yeah, I do still have that spreadsheet because if y'all remember at the beginning of the year, I had spun that spreadsheet and it had 172 games on it on that wheel. So,
Ryan, what's the last Pokemon game, or how many Pokemon games have you beaten?
Well, first of all, I finished Pokemon Scarlet.
Okay. So you're pretty up to date. Okay.
Yeah, I not only that, but I also beat because I beat 2 Pokemon games this year. I beat Pokemon Brilliant Diamond this year too. So,
yeah. Okay. Sean says Expedition 33. I mean, he's not wrong. That's a good one. It
is kind of sitting on my PlayStation 5 dashboard.
It's not long. It's a pretty tight experience.
Yeah. Well, we'll get through Cyberpunk first, and we'll
let's get through Cyberpunk. Let's get through that
because I have to start that again.
Yeah.
But I'll probably binge it through like a week basically, and then we'll talk about it kind of.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just how I play games. So
yeah.
And as for me, of course, you can always find me on the Discord at Ryan Turford. You can also find me on backlog.com and letterbox.com at Ryan Turford as well. I'll probably put my thoughts up on Ninja Gaiden Ragebound soon because I've been playing that. And I'll probably have that finished either by the end of the weekend or early next week. So
cool.
Yeah, I like that game a lot, though.
I heard it's good.
Yeah, and also I'm on Blue Sky at Ryan Turford. I barely post there, but if you want to follow me there, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good. Anyways, for Garret Bland, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been the 193rd level of the RPG Cave, and we're out.
Bye-bye.